Hello everyone, welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we're going to be looking at a speed paint. I have been working on this particular drawing for quite some time. It's a little embarrassing, but you know, it happens. Anyways, I'm very happy with it and I hope you guys like it too. I'm actually going to be showing the both of the drawings side by side at the end, so please stick around to see that. Also, obviously, you'll be seeing the finished product at the end as well. But anyways, let's just get right into the speed paint. Alright, and this is what we will be looking at today. As I said, I'm very proud of it. The wings were so scary. It was like a big reason why this piece took me so long is because literally of the wings. The feathers were just so daunting and I just was over it. I am really proud I kind of stuck with it, or I guess came back to it, because as you can see, I think I did a pretty good job. Not to pump my own tires, but I really like it and I'm excited to show the process with you guys. I will also be showing the partner piece that I have with it, and I hope you guys see like the vision I was going for when I got the idea for it. Alright, and this is the start of the time lapse. As you can see, a lot of iterations happened. I did not know how I wanted this piece to look, and I actually originally had both drawings in the same canvas. I realized pretty quickly that that was not a good idea because of how rendered and how much detail these were each gonna take, so obviously I changed that, but I did originally have both of these partner pieces in the same canvas, which again, I don't know if that was a great idea. But anyways, I chose this reference image because I liked it. I chose that because I really liked the dynamic pose. And what I did was I put each of all these circles, like in the arms and the legs, are like key spots for where the joints are. And that's often what I'll do a lot of the times if I'm having a really hard time with a pose, is I'll take a reference photo, put it on my canvas, and I'll just put where the joints are to make sure everything's properly spaced and bending correctly, and I find it helps me like a lot in terms of just getting it to look correct. So that's what I did for this, because obviously his pose is a little bit, not complicated, but he's not just standing there. Obviously the wings also took quite a few tries because I've never drawn wings before. Well, that's not true. I've never drawn wings that I'm proud of, so the wings went through a few iterations. But anyways, then obviously I made the line art a little bit, transparent, and I started adding flat colors. Actually, the flat colors of this and me starting to render are about a year apart. So one thing you'll notice when I put the two pieces together is that the rendering style is slightly different, and that's because the other piece that I did is a lot older, like about a year. I'm still very proud of it, and I don't want to change anything, but it's definitely something that you can notice if you look closely. So me putting down the flat colors of this piece and then me starting to render it is about a year apart. I also changed the face a little bit. You'll probably see that happen because I just didn't like it. Once I came back to it after an entire year, I decided to do it differently. So, but anyways, we're just gonna keep on going. This was a challenging piece. I can't explain how much the wings really scared me. I was really not looking forward to them, and it really turned me off from this piece. Even though I loved the body position, I loved the concept, I kind of loved everything about it except for the wings. They were just terrifying. So I'm really glad I came back to it though, because I'm actually incredibly proud of how it ended up. But anyways, this is just me rendering the skin. This is nothing new if you guys have seen my other speed paints. I have actually started using a textured brush to blend. I think that's one of the biggest differences between this piece and the partner piece that goes with it. Is the other piece I actually didn't use a textured brush to blend, so I think that is probably like the biggest difference. But anyways, so here I am doing the hair. The hair was kind of hard because I was a dumbass and I did it all on one layer, which was maybe not the best decision because of all these little like tiny hair pieces. They each needed their own love and attention, and because it wasn't all separated, it was a little bit difficult. So I think if I were to go back and do this piece again, that would be like the biggest change, is to put different parts of the hair on different layers so it wasn't such a pain in the ass to make it look more realistic. But I did it. I also had to mess with his hair color quite a bit because I kind of forgot what it was. I mean, I know he's blonde, but there's a lot of shades of blonde. So that ended up being something that took like a weird amount of time. I don't know why that was something that I had decided to focus on, but I apologize for the black background. It's kind of hard to see what I'm doing right now, but I'm putting shadow into the shirt. When I'm drawing and rendering dark things, it's very helpful to have a like not white background, or at least not a light color background, because it like hurts your eyes after a while, and it's really hard to tell like the detail that gets into. Like if you're not looking at it with the right color in the back. Color theory is crazy, y'all. I don't know what to tell you. So if you're an artist and you're struggling with that, try changing your background color, because I have been victim of, doing like rendering something and then going in for the background after I think I've finished and then being like, oh, that looks awful with that color in the background, and then I'm having to go, redo it. So highly recommend changing your background color frequently. So you'll see that a lot. I did a lot of this with just a black background because it just was the best contrast. This was the pants. I really actually once I get in the zone, I actually really enjoy doing fabric. However, I always pictured his pants being almost like corduroy, or maybe like a jean material. I'm not actually sure. Or like cargo pants, like that thick Carhartt cargo pants. I'm not sure. But anyways, sometimes I have a hard time making, when I'm working on fabric, I have like a hard time making it look like different kinds of fabric. Like I can do fabric, but I feel like sometimes it looks like it's all the same thickness and kind of fabric, which is obviously not the case for like most things. So I kind of had a hard time with that, and that's what you see right here is I'm adding texture to it, because I was just like, I don't like this, I want it to have a little something. And so I added a little something. I don't know if it really accomplished what I wanted it to, but I hope you guys get what I'm trying to do. It's a little difficult here, but I'm actually shading in the shoes, the boots. This was another case of me trying to shade and render something that has a texture that I don't really know how to shade and render said texture. So I picture these boots almost like an UGG material, like that like faux fur, like really short, almost like velvet, but not quite. And I had moments where I thought I did really well, and then I would like zoom out and be like, oh, you can't tell any of the detail that I just put in there. But I hope when you guys are looking at it, you can tell that what I was trying to do. It's kind of hard to tell, but in this part I'm doing his socks. I was actually gonna leave his socks pretty much untouched, but then I like zoomed out and it looked so weird having everything so hyper realistic, and then his socks were just like a black box. So So I changed that. I went in and I did that better. So I'm really glad I did, because I think it really needed it. After I procrastinated a lot, I started doing the wings. I isolated one wing at a time, so you'll notice that I ended up doing the front wing first, and then I basically duplicated it and slightly changed it to do the back wing, because I originally was gonna do the two wings separate, or like not duplicate it, but then I realized I didn't really feel like doing that. So I kind of quickly realized that approaching it like how I do hair was probably not the call, because, you know, doesn't take a genius, but feathers are not hair, and they're actually very different. So it took way too long than I would like to admit, but I finally looked up a reference. There's nothing wrong with references, and I hope that, like, watching my speed paints and seeing that I don't really use references doesn't discourage people, like there's a right way or a wrong way to do it. I honestly, the biggest reason I don't use references is because I just have a really hard time finding references of perfectly what I need. And I'm the kind of person that if it can't be exactly what I need, I'm just like, ugh, I'll just do it myself. And so that's really the biggest reason. So there's no right or wrong. You should use references if you want them, if you don't want them, whatever. But the biggest reason why I changed how I was doing this wing was because I finally looked up a reference. And yes, I made sure that I looked up an actual hawk's wing reference. I didn't just look up a random bird, because why would I not? So that's why I think this piece is a little bit more successful towards the end, and me just trying over and over and over again, is because, wow, shocker, I actually looked up a reference. So this was me making sure I saved the colors that I was using, because I was originally planning on just doing the back wing all over again, but then I was like, I don't want to do that. So I copied and pasted it, and I looked up again what a hawk's wing looks like from the top, I guess, and I just kind of slightly edited it and made it look different and not so duplicated. Always recommend that. I'm so sorry for the flashing, guys. Always recommend that if you ever duplicate something in your art, try to change it quite a bit so it doesn't look duplicated. I think that can be a big thing that really makes art go downhill fast, is seeing things that look really obviously duplicated. Anyways, so yeah, I just did the background, and I really didn't know what I wanted to do for the background, because I don't know, backgrounds are so secondary to me, and I don't like doing them. They're not fun for me, so they're so secondary and they're such an afterthought, which, I don't know, maybe if I thought about them more, my art would be better, but here we are. Anyways, so all I knew that I wanted this piece specifically to be complementary to the other piece, while also having complementary colors in it, if that makes sense. So red and green are a complementary color because they are across from the color wheel, and I knew his wings were red, obviously. That's kind of a given. But I knew that his wings were red, and I knew that I wanted you know, the red to really stand out, so I was like, okay, I know I want green. The sky doesn't really ever become green. There's not really a moment where the sky is green, so I was like, okay, then I guess I'm gonna have to do like a foresty thing. So that's why I added the trees and stuff. I also know that in the manga specifically, a lot of the fights that are not necessarily in the city, it's super green. And it's like hills of forest. And so that's kind of what I was referencing, is just like the hills and hills of forest. So anyways, that's why I did this. Made sure I had some atmospheric perspective, all that good stuff. I knew I wanted to add the buildings because you'll see in the partner piece in just a second that, you know, the buildings were in the other one as well. And I wanted there to be some cohesion to the two pieces. But yeah, and then originally, it was kind of hard to see, it was very quick, I'm sorry, but originally I had a bunch of leaves around him, but I don't know, something about it, I was just like, I don't like that as much. So I went back, and I turned basically the leaves that were flying around into feathers. And I really think that was incredibly successful. That was a really good decision, I think. I just think it adds to the piece, and I think it was just I'm happy with myself. I had a spark of genius. But yeah, the feathers were a good choice, and I'm proud that I didn't let myself be like, oh, finally done, and then, shove it away. But yeah, let's look at the two pieces together. And these are the two pieces side by side. I'm very, very happy with how much they complement each other. I think for doing them a year apart, which was totally my fault. I mean, I really could have worked on them more, whatever. I could have worked on it in a different way, but the wings were scary, okay? I was very, very scared. But anyways, I really like how they complement each other. I kind of wanted to reference almost like a playing card, like a face playing card, like a king or a queen or a jack, and how they have like that line down the middle, or I guess diagonally on the card, and where it's like an inverted of themselves. People do some really cool stuff with that, and that's kind of what I was like referencing when I was making this. I was thinking about that, so I knew I wanted to make them like in a similar body position but not the same, and I knew I wanted them to just be like, I don't know, just like the upside down of each other, or inverted, I guess. So I really like how they turned out, and I really like how they are side by side. And if you notice, the piece on the right, Dobby, the colors are complementary again, orange and yellow, orange and blue. They are, they're complementary. And then the piece on the left, Hawks, is red and green, another complementary pair. And I think that really helps them stand out. I thought it was I really chose it for like the complementary colors, but I don't think it was a bad idea to have one of them being like daytime and another one being like essentially sunset. So I liked that a lot. I also knew that Hawks had these huge great wings, and I wanted Dobby to have something similar, and I was like, well, why can't he have wings too? I mean, obviously I am not the author, or the mangaka of My Hero Academia, so I don't know the extent of Dobby's power, but I was like, he makes fire, so like, why couldn't he make his fire in like a specific shape? So that's kind of where that idea came from. I also took extra care to make sure that their physical bodies, like their body positions, were about the same size, because originally Hawks was going to be a lot smaller and Dobby was going to be a lot bigger. Not on purpose, it's how the sketch ended up being, and I was like, no, I want them to be equal, because that's like the whole point. So yeah, that's these two pieces. I love them so much. Maybe one day I'll do something fun with them, like set them up so they can be like one poster, or put them on something cool so they can be, side by side. But I'm really happy with it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching how I made this. I think both of them I pretty much did on stream. I could be lying. I know for a fact I did almost all of Hawks's rendering on YouTube Live. So if you're curious, like, to watch me do it for real, that is on my channel. I don't know if I did Dobby live, but I think I at least did parts of it live. I'm not entirely sure. Again, these two were a year apart, so I don't really remember. But yeah, that's the speed paint for today. And yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know there's a lot of me talking, but you guys said that you liked more commentary-based speed paints, so here we are. I'm a yapper. I don't know what to tell you. But anyways, that's it for today. If you want to see like high-quality versions of both of these, they are on my Instagram, and I'm also currently posting some TikToks with them, so, you know, I put in way too much work for, you know, each of these to be made into just one 10-second TikTok, so I'll be posting a few videos of them for a few days, and yeah, all of the high quality stuff is on my Instagram as usual, you know, nothing new. And yeah, if you guys are, you know, interested and want to see more art stuff, I have all of my socials linked in my link tree in my bio. They are also in the description of this video as usual. And you know, if you want to hang out while I do some of this stuff and be like a part of the process, quote unquote, you can definitely do that. I have a lot of days where I stream on YouTube and just draw and hang out and talk with you guys. I also play some games over on Twitch, which is equally fun in my opinion. So if you really like playing a little game and seeing another side of me, then I highly suggest coming and checking that out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye guys!